Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP Spectre x360 Convertible model 15-df1043dx. Alright, sorry for the noise, they're doing some construction work on their house outside. But anyways, let's go ahead and take the screws out. So there are two T5 or Torx 5 screws on the sides here. And I'm guessing underneath these adhesives, there's probably some PH1 or JS1 screws. Right, so let's go ahead and undo these screws. Okay, so we got that one out. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. I do that by putting the flat side down. In the pattern, I remove them. So most likely this is going to be like a rectangular pattern. So let's go ahead and remove these screws. All right, so we got these two out. Next, we're going to remove these rubber feet here. So usually I just use my fingernails and get under there. You can use whatever works for you. You can use some plastic pry tools, or if you can't get it out with that, you can use some screwdrivers or whatever works. All right, so once I peel up part of it, as you can see, I can grab this and we're just going to peel the whole thing up. And just as I thought, there are some PH1 or JS1 screws under here. Let's go ahead and remove the other rubber foot as well, just to check. I think the rubber foot down here is a little bit thinner. All right. So you kind of want to try and keep these in order as well. Okay, and yes, there's two screws under there as well. All right, so again, these are PH1 or JS1 screws. Let's go ahead and remove them. You can see there's 4 at the top or at the back here near the hinges. And then there's only 2 at the bottom here. So if you want, you don't need to peel off the rubber piece completely. You can just peel up the side edges of the bottom down here. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and get these screws out. So these screws in the back are quite a bit longer, and they're also silver instead of black. Okay. Let's go ahead and get all these screws out. Alright, and then let's see the screws at the bottom. Are they the same? They actually write the length and width of these screws down here. Okay, it looks like the screws at the bottom are about the same length. So I haven't opened this model computer before, so we're going to see how this goes. Alright. Here you can see they are M2 by L9. So I think the L is the length is 9 millimeters, and then the width is 2. Okay. Anyways, let's see if we can get this bottom cover off. I'm going to try with a suction cup first. Since there's more screws here, I'm going to try for pulling the back up first. It seems pretty difficult to get this up. I don't know if there's going to be an easy way to pop this cover open or not. Seems very difficult. Okay, let's see about the front. Nope. Okay. So let's see how we're going to get this apart. So if you pull on the cover, you can actually form a gap here. Oh, actually that kind of popped out a little bit. So I kind of pulled this a little, and here you can see it's actually popping out. So that's interesting. It's actually coming out from the front side first. Okay. So it actually popped up quite a bit. Let's see if we can continue. I'm just getting my fingernail in the gap here. Okay. And as you can see, that helps pop the clips up. I don't know if we should try taking out the front first. This one's actually already like all loose all along the entire front, which is kind of strange. Okay, let's get the thing and pull here. Again, I'm just putting my fingernail in between the gap there as I kind of pull this up. And the front's already all popped out. Here you can see the clips. Maybe their battery is inflating or something. That's weird that it's popping up so easily on the front. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Again, we're just pulling. I'm getting my fingernails in there and I'm kind of pulling it up like this. I don't know if you can see, but I'm pulling it like this with my fingers like that and pushing with my thumb. All right. And we're getting most of it out. So here you can see, all right. So most of the cover is already out. I'm just getting my hand in there. Okay, this side's a little bit stuck, so let's turn it around and then use the suction cup some more. Okay, there we go. So it looks like it came out now. It just took a little wiggling, and there we go. So we got the bottom cover off. You can see actually the wire of this pushes into it, so this wasn't actually in here right. This wire should be slotted all the way through, but they didn't have it right and it put pressure on there, which it shouldn't be doing. It's a little bit dusty, so let me clean this off a little bit. Okay, it's not too bad. Right, set the cover aside, and here you can see the entire build. So you got the SSD up here, and then you got the RAM here. I don't think there's really anything underneath this, so you can probably just leave this alone. You can see all the little connections here. So let me actually zoom in a bit here for you guys. Actually, let me get a thumbnail for this video, so we'll go like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. Okay, so as you can see, there's this connector here. This is like the MacBook speaker connectors, where you get underneath the connector, underneath these wires, and then you kind of just pry up as close as you can to the wire to pop up this little connector. If you don't know how to do that, watch a few of my other videos, the MacBook ones, where I replace the speakers. This cable runs along and it goes to the speaker down here as well, actually. All right, this one is for the fan. Same thing, you get underneath the wires. All right, actually I'll show you one. So you get underneath the wires and then you can just pop it up just like that. All right, here you can see why fingernails are very useful. A lot of people don't like that I use fingernails, but it makes my job a lot easier. You can use some plastic pry tools. You don't want to use metal though, because then you can short out these connections here. Okay, let's actually take out the battery so we can see what's underneath here. I don't want to take out too much. I'm pretty sure on this model, actually, I don't know if I want to remove the battery because I'm going to have to take all the speaker wiring out. Let's see if I can unroute these speaker wires here on both sides. If it's easy enough, then I'll take out the battery. Okay, it looks like it's easy enough. All right, we'll do the same thing with the other side. There's a speaker wire here as well. Okay. All right, just like this. All right, and the speaker for this one connects down there. Then you got the other fan over here, okay? I don't think there's really much else under here to worry about. Nope, not really. Okay. So let's actually clean off a little bit of this dust just because we can. Okay. So clean up the fans a bit. All right, now let's go ahead and get the battery out. So most likely these are all PH1 or JS1 screws. So let's go ahead and get them out. 1, 2, 3. It looks like there's 4 across the top and 2 along the bottom. Again, keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can damage your computer. Right? That's very important. Okay, once we get all the screws out. Also, if you want to be safe, it's always a good idea to disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. It makes it a lot safer to work on. If you're going to work on the screen connections, it's very important. If you don't do that, you can actually damage your computer. But for like RAM and hard drive and stuff, it's not as big of a deal. But if you're kind of not careful, you can still damage your computer, so it's always a good idea to do it anyways if you can and if it's not too difficult. All right, so we got all the screws out. Let's try and get underneath this battery here. Okay, so as you can see, we can lift this battery up, but we do have to disconnect this. So let me actually zoom in and show you how I do that. So the way I remove these connections, I just use my fingernails here at the wings. You can use whatever tools you want, and then I just kind of just wiggle it just like that and it pops out. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out again. All right, so now you can see we already got the battery out. Just slide this and move that out of the way. And actually this battery is slightly going bad. You can see it's kind of inflated. That's not good. But anyways, battery model number, if you need it, is right here. Okay, I don't know if you can read that. SU06XL, all right. And then there's also an HP spare part number here. L29184-005. Okay, there we go. So we'll set the battery aside as well. Okay, so here you can see now We got this one connection here for the micro SD card slot. All these connections are the same. There's a latch. You flip the latch up. Once you flip that latch up, you can pull the cable out. I'm going to leave them in there because I don't want to mess around with too much stuff. You got this connector here. Oh, let's actually do it the safe way. Since we took the battery out, let's open up the computer. And then we'll press and hold the power button over here for about 15 seconds. All right? It's on this side, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to hold this button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power, to make it a bit safer to work on. All right, so we'll give it about another 5-6 seconds, and then we should be good to go. All right, so there we go. All right, let's close this down. Okay, so then you got, I think that's fingerprint sensor, right? Yep, okay. So then you got a fingerprint sensor cable here. You got the keyboard backlight connector here, keyboard connector, trackpad, touchpad, whatever you want to call this, connector there. Then you got this small connector here for the audio jack audio board here. All right, all these pieces seem to be replaceable, which is pretty nice. All right, I think they do hold, yeah, they hold down these cables with adhesive, so I don't want to mess with them or try and rip them out. The touchpad looks replaceable. There's one screw here, so most likely there's another screw here, but again, these things are like held down with tape, so I don't want to try and peel them out because it is a little bit risky and you can possibly damage it. They also have two really strong magnets, one here and one here. Okay, and those are for, I think if this one flips over 360, that's for that. And yes, it does. Okay, and now we got all the connections up here. Let's see, am I gonna have to take this out to remove the RAM? Possibly. Okay, this thing comes off pretty easily, so I'm just gonna peel this up. It is leaving some residue, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and peel this up. Oh, okay, there we go. So here you go. We got this piece off, and it just goes on like that. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. Okay, so here you can see there's another speaker connector up here. Then you got the wireless card. It's soldered to the motherboard. So if you damage the wireless card or the wireless card goes bad, you pretty much have to change the wireless card. You got this small connector here, which is most likely for the webcam and microphones in the top, but I'm not 100% sure. It could possibly be for the touch screen. You also have this tiny cable here, which I'm not sure what it's for. Is there lights or anything up there? No. Okay, so I don't know what this tiny cable's for. I don't think they labeled it. All right, no, I don't see any labels on it, so I don't know what that's for or where it's going. I'm not going to peel it out, but it is going underneath the motherboard, it seems. Okay, this is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD, so keep that in mind. If you're going to upgrade it, you want a PCIe NVMe SSD. I am going to be taking that out because the customer wants me to try and get their data off of it. It seems the data or the SSD is readable or detectable, but it doesn't want to work properly. All right, anyways, you got the charge port DC jack connector here, so if you need to replace this charge port, you can pull this out same way we disconnected the battery connector, or you could always just use the USB-C here to charge up the laptop. So if you look at here, they have a picture, they have a picture of that little outlet plug thing, so that means you can actually charge the laptop with that one. Okay, and then you got another, again, one of these little connectors here. So I don't know what those are for. It's a little, oh, actually, this one is actually for the power button. Okay, so this is the power button connector here, and you can take it out. There's two screws holding it in place. I'm going to leave that there. Actually, it looks like there's only one screw holding the power button in place. This is for the charge port. Okay, but the charge port wire is going underneath the motherboard, so if you need to replace that charge port wire, it's going to be somewhat of a pain. Keep that in mind. And you do have another speaker up here as well. Oh, I didn't mention this is the LCD or LVDS connector. Again, if you're going to mess with this cable, make sure that you disconnect the battery and then open the computer and press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. You got a bunch of HP spare part numbers here. I don't know what each one's for. If you want, you can look them up yourself. All right, L64024-001. Then you got another one here. It's upside down. L38262-001, and then you got 3 more over here. You got, oops, L43927-601, 937236-855, and L54491-001. So you can look all those up if you want to find parts for the computer. All right, keyboard seems like it would probably be a pain to remove. You'll have to take the entire computer apart. And then there's little screws holding these metal brackets on both sides. I don't know if there's a bunch of other screws underneath. I'm not taking it out again. Anyways, let's go ahead and take the M.2 SSD out. There's one screw here. Take that one screw out. All right, as you can see, it pops up at an angle like that. Then you can go ahead and just pull this back. And here we go. There's the SSD. And here you can see there's a motherboard or logic board model number here. DAX38AMBAD0 revision D. So if you need that, there you go. Now you have it. All right, now let's go ahead and pop open the RAM cover. So this one's just held in with these little clips or whatever you want to call it. So I get my fingernail underneath a corner like this and pop it up. Again, you don't have to use fingernails. You can use plastic pry tools, but that's how I get this cover off. All right, just get underneath and pop it up. We're gonna have to go all the way around and do the same thing. Just continue popping up this metal cover. You want to try and lift it straight up. You don't want to pull it up at an angle. Okay, and here we go. You got 2 sticks of RAM. You can pull these 2 tabs to the side. The RAM pops up. And here you go. The RAM is PC42666V. So you can use any PC42666V RAM. So if you want, you can get 2 16 gig sticks and upgrade this to 32 gigs. I don't know what this model number here is for, but it's X38A. So if you need that, X38A. All right, there you go. Let's put the stick of RAM back in. And that's pretty much all there is inside this laptop. I'm gonna pop this up and see if there's anything else. Nope, okay. So we're just gonna push this stick of RAM back in and then click it back down. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna get this cover and put that back. You wanna make sure that the things line up. So you wanna line up one side and one, and like the top or bottom, and that's usually the best way to make sure it's all lined up. And then you can go ahead and just push it all down into place. Okay. Make sure everything's good. This one's loose. Oh, I see. It's not lining up right with this tape thing is kind of in the way. So I need to move this tape out of the way a little bit to get this one in right. Okay, make sure you get it all lined up right, and then go ahead and push it down. Okay, looks good. All right, so everything is lined up now. Everything is clipped into place. You kind of want to confirm, look around the whole thing. Excuse me, too much talking. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna test the SSD first, and then I'll be back. We'll do the reassembly. Okay, so I'll see you all in a bit. I'm just going to go ahead and test the SSD, and yeah. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and reinstall the SSD and put the computer back together. So it goes back in at an angle like that. Okay, make sure it's in all the way. Let's go ahead and put back the screw that was holding it in place. Okay, drop it down, screw in. All right, there we go. And then let's go ahead and put back the battery. So again, there's no separate BIOS or CMOS battery, so this is going to go in like that. I'm wondering if the reason their computer had issues is because of this battery. For some reason the OS got corrupted and it wouldn't boot anymore. It just kept going to recovery mode and it wouldn't even see C drive or anything. But anyways, let's go ahead and reconnect the battery here. Okay. Make sure that the speaker cables end up back on top, of course. Okay. Trying to go underneath. Let me make sure they end up on top. All right, and then get the battery connector in. It's a little bit tricky just because of the amount of slack. Also, make sure that you don't accidentally flip the connector upside down, especially if you're replacing the battery. So keep in mind the arrangement. You want these gold pins of the connector facing up. All right, and then also you can see it goes black, black, yellow, yellow, red, red, white, green, black, black. So make sure you don't flip it upside down. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and pinch these together to get it back in. All right, let's get this all lined back up again. Okay, and go ahead and pinch that in, just like that. Okay, seems like it's in place. Get all the screw mounts lined up again. Okay. There we go. Screw mounts all lined up, and get all the screws back in. So we had 2 screws down here towards the center of the battery. All right, we'll get those in. And then we had the 4 screws going along the top of the battery. Okay. We're almost done with this. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computer repairs, but if you've noticed, I've been getting a lot less work, which is why my uploads have been slowing down. So hopefully you guys can help out so that I can continue doing this. Otherwise, eventually I might have to look into getting another job, but we'll see how it goes. So far it's okay. But anyways, let's get all these cables back in. There we go. All right, now that we got all of that, let's go ahead and get this cover back on. So you want to look at the clips and see how they all go into place. We're gonna actually put the bottom side down first because it looks like those clips stick out the most. So let's get it in at an angle like this. Okay, make sure everything is in, and then we can work our way down. Actually, we might have to start with the back, or it might have to be like other HP models where you hold the bottom in. So I'm going to use like my forearm here, and then while I'm holding that in, I'm using the suction cup to flex up the center of the case. That way it kind of makes room to push this, but let's see. No, it doesn't want to do it that way. Okay, so I guess we're going to have to get the back in first, and then hopefully these clips will fall into place. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and push all these clips into place. Looks like it's going in. Okay, we're gonna go around the sides, make sure all those clips go in. Around this side, make sure all those clips go in. Will the front clips go in? Yeah, no, those clips are really hard to push in like that. So we are gonna somehow have to get these front clips in. Okay. Make sure all these side edges are lined up because it is slid over a little bit. So you want to make sure this is centered properly. Get all the sides in. All right. So I guess we are going to have to use that trick where we kind of like hold the middle up. Again, you can use the suction cup to do this. And pull it up while you push it in. And there you go. You can see it fell into place. We're going to do the same thing with this side. Hold this down with your forearm. Pull up with the suction cup and then get that. So basically what we're doing is we're flexing the cover like this, like up like that, so that way it's shorter and then that can fit into place. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Let's go ahead now and just go around, make sure all of the cover is in place properly. Get all the clips in. Okay, continue going around, and there we go. It clipped in pretty nicely. Okay, now let's go ahead and get all the screws back in. Again, we're going to start with the PH1 or JS1 screws, and we're going to get these 4 screws in. Wow, that MacBook's getting noisy. I don't know if you can hear the fan sound from it. But anyways, we're going to get these 4 screws in first. Okay. Alright, now that we got those 4 screws, let's go ahead and put the rubber foot back in. Okay. Make sure this screw's pretty tight. Okay. There we go. Alright, make sure everything's clipped in. Then you want to look at the rubber piece. You can actually see where the screws used to go. All right, and then make sure you line it up right, and then just get it all back into place. So we'll get one side in first. Continue going down. Put that into place, and there we go. Your way across. All right, it's a little bit uneven, so we're gonna have to move this. It's hard to do it at this view to try and show you guys what's going on, so I might have to rotate it if I can't get it in right. Okay. All right, I think it's going in. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we got this all in. Let's go ahead and do the two down here. Same thing, just get those screws in. All right, then we'll get the rubber foot again, and we'll put that in place. Same thing, make sure you line up the little holes there. Okay. All right. It helps to kind of just focus on one edge of the rubber piece, so I'm just matching up the bottom edge of that to the edge of the rubber. Okay, there we go. All right, and all we have left now are the T5 or Torx 5 screws. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. And let's go ahead and flip this thing over and turn it on. Because we disconnected the battery, the BIOS is going to be reset, so it will take a while to start back up. I'm going to actually put a Windows USB installer in so that I can boot from that and then install Windows on there. So let's go ahead and plug a USB into here. Alright, let's open this up. Let's power it on. And then to start the boot menu, you press the escape key. Okay, I see the power light on, so it should be starting up. Again, it's going to take a while because the BIOS was reset. So just give it a few seconds or a minute or so. Okay. Power light is on, so we're just going to keep giving it a little bit more time. There we go. Here you go. It says CMOS was reset, so press enter to reboot the system. So we're going to press enter. And then again, I'm going to keep pressing the escape key so that we can go into that boot menu. Let me make sure I get the right charger for this. Still on, right? Yeah, okay. Oops, I didn't press the enter key or escape key in time. So now it's going to try and start up the computer. Let's go ahead and plug the charger. It is charging, so we are good. So again, this computer has some weird boot issue. It's just going to end up shutting itself off and then going into oh shoot, I need to open it again. I forgot to put this plastic piece back on there. Well, let's wait for this. I mean, technically this black plastic piece isn't needed, but I am going to take it back out just to put this thing back on. Okay, so here you can see this computer is just stuck trying to boot up, and then it gives up, and then it's just going to do like a recovery mode. Come on. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to shut it off. Well, we'll wait for it to do the repair screen. While it's doing that, I guess I will be taking it apart. So let's see here. Can I do it while it's doing that? No, I can't. Okay, well, let's go in here, US. I'm just going to power it off. Okay, let's go ahead and open this back up. Sorry about that. I guess we're going to have to do this a second time. You guys already saw how to do this. But anyways, the boot menu, as you can see, it's a lot easier to take out the second time. Alright. So the boot menu, I think you press escape and then I think it's like F8 or F9 or something like that to go into the boot menu. If you want, you can wait till I get to that point. You can fast forward over to make it get there quicker. Again, I'm going to be opening this again just so I can put back that plastic piece because I forgot. I don't like leaving pieces outside of the computer even if they are unnecessary. So, okay, let's go ahead and take this back off. Why is this screw stuck in there? Let go. There we go. Let's see if we can pop this open a little bit easier this time. Same thing with the suction cup. Same thing using my fingernails. Again, I don't know why the bottom ones seem to come out a lot easier. As you can see, when we flex it, it comes out a lot easier. Kind of strange. Anyways, I'm just using my fingernails again like last time. Let's rotate this again. Let's unplug that. Okay, this one's being a little tricky. There we go. There we go. Came out a lot easier. Take this cover back off. Let's put this piece back on. This was the one that was getting caught there, so we had to go this way if I remember correctly. There isn't really an exact specific way to put this, but just try and get it as centered as possible. Okay, I don't remember, was the adhesive sticking on there as well? Yep. And it did cover a little bit of this, so I think it was like that. Alright, stick that on. We're good to go. Let's get this piece back on, line up everything, get the bottom in first. Okay, same thing. Hold this down, pull this up, and get that in. So let's go from down here. Come on. There we go. Oh, that one flexed a lot. There we go. All right, let's get all of this back in. All of that into place, all of that into place. Okay. Everything's good. Make sure everything is good. There we go. All right. Let's get all these screws back in. Sorry about that. Alright, you get the idea. You can fast forward through this. Last screw. Okay, let's get these rubber pieces back in. There we go. Right, let's get this back in, make sure that's the right way. Okay. I'm gonna move this down here so it's easier for me to see. Alright, let's flip this over. Go ahead and plug the USB back in, and let's go ahead and go through the boot process. Power it up. Again, press the escape key. Press the escape key while it's starting up. It is on, right? Yep. Okay, give it a few seconds. There we go. Escape. It said it was starting the startup menu, and here you go. You have F1 for system information, F2 for system diagnostics, F7 for HP spare key, F9 for boot device, which is what we're doing, F10 for BIOS, and F11 for recovery. So we're going to go to the boot device, F9. We're going to boot from our USB drive, SanDisk Cruiser. Depending what you installed on, yours will be different. And then we're going to install Windows 10 the way you would install Windows 10. Alright? So again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright? If you want to see how to install Windows 10, you can stay. I'll record some of the process, but yeah, anyways, let's go through. Okay, we'll let part of it load, and then I'll show you a bit of the installation process. Right, so we're getting to this purple screen. Usually I'll just go tab, tab, tab all the way to next, press enter to install now. And then usually I will go to the custom install, so let's wait for this to finish. Come on. It's taking a while. There we go. Spacebar to accept, enter for next. Press the down arrow for custom, enter. You see all these partitions. I'll go in here, I'll push tab, then the D to go to delete. If anything, you can just click each one and then click delete, and then I'll press the down arrow to go to the next one, tab, delete. Same thing, left arrow, enter. Same thing, down arrow, tab, delete, OK, tab, delete, OK. So now we only have one partition. I'll press enter and we'll continue. And then the installation will go on its own. Sorry, the Mac is talking, but anyways, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Again, hopefully it helped, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.